Hi everyone, it's C, and today I am going to be doing a quick non-spoiler book review of Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I'm going to start by giving a quick synopsis of what Skyward is about, and then I will go a little bit more in depth about some of my likes and my dislikes, and just my overall thoughts on this book. Skyward follows 17-year-old Spensa. Now, Spensa lives in space. She is a human who lives on this planet that is barren and desolate and nothing really grows there. Think like Tatooine from Star Wars. Like, it has that vibe where it's all kind of sand and rock and caverns. Now, in Spensa's world, pilots are the heroes. Pilots are what everyone wants to grow up to be. Well, not everyone, but definitely what Spensa wants to grow up to be. Spensa wants to be a pilot just like her dad was. Now, the story starts when Spensa is 7 years old and her dad are walking through one of the caverns. Now, her dad gets a call saying that the Krell, which is an alien species that humans have been fighting with on this planet for as long as anyone can remember, is attacking the Alta base, which is the big military base in the center of town. Now, Spensa is like really freaked out, and so her dad leaves her in the cavern so she can wander her way home, and he goes to fight the Krell as a pilot. By the time Spensa gets home, her dad has died. Now, Spensa's dad does not die because of the Krell, not because of the aliens. He dies because he goes to retreat while he is flying his ship, and his own men shoot him down. So then the story flashes forward. Spensa is 17 and she has lived her entire life being told by people that her dad's a coward and she's gonna grow up to be a coward, and she tries her hardest not to let that stop her. She studies, she goes to school, she goes and she hunts rats down in the caverns for her mom to make into meat, and she says that she's gonna train to be a pilot. She wants to get into flight school. Well, on her last day of high school, regular school, they don't really say what they call it in this world, but think high school, this girl comes up to her and was like, I've already heard that you're not gonna get into flight school because the Admiral hates your dad. But Spensa doesn't let that stop her. She's determined to make it into flight school. She goes and she takes the test, and the Admiral says, even though you got a good score, I'm not gonna let you in because of your dad. Well, then she meets one of the teachers who is teaching at this flight school, and he says, you know what? I'll let you come in. I'll let you be a part of this flight school. Even though I can really only let you into the classes, you're not gonna have a bed there to sleep in, we're not gonna be able to feed you, but I'll let you take the flight classes. At the same time that all of this drama is happening within her school, Spensa, while wandering through the caverns, finds this broken down ship kind of under some dust, and is like, I've never seen a ship like this before. She knows a lot about ships. She's researched it for a long time. But then she finds this ship and she's like, I've never even seen a model like this before. And so she becomes determined to fix up the ship, so even if she is not able to graduate flight school, she can still have a ship of her own and she can still fly. That's like really all I can say about this book without getting into too many spoilers. All of that happens within the first like 40-50 pages. This book is action-packed. It is such a page turner. Literally every chapter feels important. Every chapter is like, yep, I understand why this is here. It is so fast-paced and so much fun. I want to first talk about the things I didn't love within this book. I ended up giving it a 3.75 star review. I rounded it up to 4 on Goodreads. I liked this book. I thought it was really fun. I liked it enough that I will pick up the next book that is in this series. It's a quartet. But only the first 2 books are out right now. I'm definitely going to pick up the second book. That being said, there was a lot that I didn't love about it. This book is YA, so I went into that knowing this. That being said, Spensa does not read like a 17-year-old. Like, if I was reading this and it turned out Spensa was 13 or 14, I would have believed it. She is a very immature character. There is another boy who goes to her school that she ends up calling Jerkface as like what she refers to him as, like what his nickname is. It just doesn't feel believable that Spensa is so immature. She stays up to authority a lot. She fights with authority a lot, but not in a way that makes her seem like she's strong-willed and empowered, more in a way that makes her seem like a little kid throwing a fit. So I didn't love reading about Spensa. I do think that that was a choice that Brandon Sanderson made. I think he wanted her to be a little bit annoying, maybe so he can develop her character more throughout the rest of the books. I'll see what happens with that, but as of now, I didn't love Spensa as a character. I also didn't really love the writing style. I think that Brandon Sanderson is a really good storyteller. This is the first book of his that I've read, but his writing style just wasn't my thing. It seemed like he was trying to emulate like the Percy Jackson type style where it's like Spensa's kind of talking to herself and kind of making jokes to herself, but it didn't quite work and he didn't follow through with it all the time, and I didn't love that about this book. Also, there are a lot of characters in the flight school, like there are a lot of kids who are in this flight school, and I think that's awesome, but unfortunately, I feel like they weren't developed enough. I feel like, especially the girls who are in this book besides Spensa, like they were kind of hard to tell apart. They had like one main personality trait, and besides that, you didn't know a whole lot about them. I didn't love the characters in this. There was no one in this that I was specifically like, wow, I love this character. No one in this book felt particularly relatable to me, but that didn't mean I didn't think it was a fun read. There was definitely a lot about this book that I really did enjoy as well. I thought the overall plot was really fun. I was talking to my partner about it and he was like, that kind of sounds like Mean Girls meets Top Gun in space, which is exactly what it feels like. It's action-packed and really fast. Like the whole thing goes by so fast. I read this book in less than a week. It just speeds through and it's super fun. It's definitely, I think, geared towards a younger audience. I think that if I read this when I was 12 or 13, it would have been my life. Like I would have been so into this series. But now, looking at it as an adult and looking back on it as understanding it's a young adult book, I think it definitely would do good for a younger audience. I think in moments it almost is on that line where it's like, would this be young adult or even like middle grade? Like it kind of teeters on that line, but it is definitely a fun read nonetheless. I think any book, movie, TV show that has fun, cool pilot fight scenes, I love it. I'm into it. I thought the fight scenes in this were super interesting and engaging and really fun. I was happy that there was a good amount of action in here. Even at times it seemed well-timed or convenient that there was a fight happening, I did really appreciate that there was a lot of action, a lot of fight scenes within this book. This book talks a lot about legacy and about birthright and about like how you carry on a family name. And I think this book does a great job of how if you have a family member who does something, how it not only affects how other people see you, but it affects how you see yourself as well. Overall, I would recommend this book if you are someone who is into reading young adult, if you're someone who's into reading fast-paced, plot-focused stories. I think this is definitely something you would enjoy. I'm excited to read the second book within this series. And again, overall, I gave this a 3.75 star rating out of 5. Overall, that is all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this little spoiler-free review. I'm thinking that maybe once I read all the books, I mean, that might be a little while because we've got 2 more still to come out within the next couple of years, but maybe after I read the second book, I'll do a more in-depth spoilery talk on more of my thoughts on the book, of like some of the little interpersonal things that happened that I want to comment on, that I would like to touch on. But overall, I did really enjoy Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, and thank you so much for watching this video. I'm excited to continue to make more, and I will see you all in the next one. I hope you all have a really good day, a great week, and I will see you all next time. Bye!